Canto 30, 10th Bolgia, continued. Impersonators, Gianni Schicchi, Mira, Counterfeiter, Master Adam, False Witnesses, Sinon, Potiphar's Wife, Flighting, Virgil's Rebuke, Pilgrim's Apology. In the time when, because of Semele, Juno was angry against the blood of Thebes, as she showed once and again, Atamas became so insane that, seeing his wife walking with his two sons on either hand, he cried, "Spread the net, so that I may catch the lioness and her cubs at the crossing." And then he stretched out his pitiless claws, taking the one whose name was Learchus, and whirled him and struck his head against a rock, and she drowned herself with her other burden. And when fortune levelled to the ground the pride of the Trojans, all aflame, so that along with his kingdom the king was broken, Hecuba, sorrowing, wretched, and a captive, after she saw Polyxena dead, and grieving, had perceived her Polydorus on the shore of the sea, going mad, she barked like a dog, her grief had so twisted her mind. But neither Theban furies nor Trojan ever made anyone so cruel, not to wound beasts, let alone human limbs, as two pallid, naked shades I saw, who ran biting in the manner of the pig when the sty is opened. One reached Capocchio, and set his tusk into the knot of his neck, so that, dragging, he made him scratch his belly on the solid floor. And the Aretine, who remained trembling, told me, that goblin is Gianni Schicchi, and in his rage he goes treating others so. "Oh," I said to him, "so may the other not set his teeth in you. Let it not be a labor to tell me who he is, before he disappears." And he to me, "That is the ancient soul of wicked Mira, who became, beyond right love, her father's lover. She came to sin with him by counterfeiting herself in another's shape, just as the other who goes off there, to gain the queen of the herd, dared to counterfeit in himself, Buoso Donati, making a will, and giving it legal form." And when the two rabid shades on whom I had kept my eyes had passed, I turned to gaze at the other ill-born ones. I saw one made in the shape of a lute, if he had his groin cut from the other forked part. The heavy dropsy that so unpairs the members with the liquid that it ill converts, that the face does not answer to the belly, made him hold his lips open, as a fevered person does, who in his thirst turns one of them down toward his chin and the other upward. "O you who are without any punishment, and I know not why, in this grim world," he said to us, "gaze and attend to the wretchedness of Master Adam. Alive, I had much of whatever I wished, and now, alas, I crave a drop of water. That little streams that from the green hills of the Casentino come down into Arno, marking their channels cool and moist, always stand before me, and not in vain, for their image drives me far more than the disease that robs my face of flesh. The rigid justice that probes me takes occasion from the place where I sin to put my sighs the more to flight. There is Romena, where I falsified the alloy sealed with the Baptist, for which I left my body burned up there. But if I might see here the wicked soul of Guido, or Alessandro, or their brother, for Fontebranda, I would not trade the sight. One of them has already come, if the raging shades who run about here tell the truth. But what does it help me, since my members are bound? If I were just so light that in 100 years I could go 1 inch, I would have already set out on the path, searching through all this filthy people, although it turns for 11 miles and is no less than half a mile across. Because of them I am among such a household. They induced me to mint the florins that had 3 carats of dross. And I to him, "Who are the 2 wretches smoking like wet hands in winter, lying close on your right-hand boundary?" "Here I found them, and since then they have not even turned over," he replied, "when I rained down into this pit, and I do not believe they will for eternity. One is the false woman who accused Joseph, the other is false Greek, Sinon of Troy, because of acute fever they throw out such a stench. And one of them, who perhaps resented being named so darkly, with his fist struck him on his taut belly. That resounded as if it were a drum, and Master Adam struck the other's face with his arm, which seemed no less hard, saying to him, Although I am deprived of movement by my heavy limbs, I have an arm loose for such business. And he replied, when you were going to the fire, you didn't have it so ready, but that much and more you had it when you were coining. In the hydroptic, you say true there, but you were not such a true witness where you were asked for the truth at Troy. If I spoke falsely, you falsified the coinage, said Sinon, and I am here for one fault, but you for more than any other demon. Remember, perjurer, the horse, replied he of the swollen liver, and let it be bitter to you that the whole world knows of it. And to you bitter be the thirst that cracks, said the Greek, your tongue and the stagnant water that makes of your belly a hedge before your eyes. Then the coiner, your mouth gapes because of your disease as usual, for if I am thirsty and liquid swells me, you have burning fever and a head that aches, and to lick the mirror of Narcissus you would not need to be invited with many words. I was all intent to listen to them when my master said to me, now keep looking, for I am not far from quarreling with you. When I heard him speak to me angrily, I turned toward him with such shame that it still dizzies me in my memory. Like one who dreams of harm, and, dreaming, wishes he were dreaming, so that he yearns for what is as if it were not, so I became, unable to speak, wishing to excuse myself. And I was excusing myself all along, though I did not think so. Less shame washes away a greater fault, said my master, than yours has been. Therefore cast off all sorrow, and mind that I be always at your side, if it happen again, that fortune finds you where people are in such a squabble. For to wish to hear, that is a base desire.